Definitely when I was in university in Chicago, working at Gramophone, I got exposed to just everything. Like the history of basically, and learning like, you know, like house music's all disco samples, and it was really exciting to know that, but then when you started hearing the originals and all the classics, and at the time there were so many used record stores in Chicago, and it was because of the whole BMX thing, there was so much of that style that everyone just was like, oh, enough, you know, like there's so many records that it was amazing education just to pick it up, and that New York was just, at the time, like, also, who was really big in New York was like metro area. Brendan Green and Danny Wang were, I mean, it was like kind of, in a lot of ways, the beginning of the rebirth of a lot of people playing disco. So I came like right when Electroclash was big, and I wasn't really into Electroclash, it was more like the disco thing. And clearly Electroclash kind of faded. It's fun, I mean, don't get me wrong, everyone loved it. But clearly it was kind of obvious how much the disco things you knew it was going to take off. Clearly it has, and more picking up on it. It's fucking great. It's like everyone's having a good time. Well, the joke is that, you know, as I was learning viola and violin, I'd always have string stabs and my own melodies in my own mind, and now I could finally put them to use and record my own disco strings and stuff. So, definitely when I do production now, I try to incorporate as much as I can viola and trumpet as well. And I play live bass too. I'm not the best at any of these, but you know, it's the beauty of working in the studio. You have time to practice and make it as best as you can. And it's been great. It's come through well. I was an art student. You know, I went to music school. I didn't last very long in Chicago, and then I went to art school. So, you know, visually, it's kind of a big joke, like, you know, when you were looking at CDs or records as a kid, you were looking at covers and stuff. So visually, records, you know, themselves or even labels are still appealing, so, you know, outside art is always an influence. I was actually one of the, I might be safe to say, the first signee of record label. Oh, really? Elliot Erno approached me when they were just getting a record label together, and I was really excited about it. It seems pretty new. I released a single, and it's been amazing. Watching them grow has been really amazing too. It was kind of not scary, but very new to me to think about doing just a digital release, because a lot of people think, and I did too, just wanting to do just a vinyl release. You know, that's the final product, but clearly now there's tons of just digital only things. So it's interesting to see how music is changing in that regard as well. Yeah, definitely. So, but yeah, record label itself is growing and profiling DFA artists among other really amazing artists. So I'm happy to be a part of it. It's cool. I think the role as a DJ, which is kind of cool, is all DJs love music, and like all different kinds of music. When it comes time for me to pick what I want to play at my night, you have to you're kind of predetermining what it is that you want to play. I'm playing records. I'm not playing with Serato where people have their whole collections. I'm at home deciding, okay, this is what I want to do tonight. And it's kind of fun because you're predetermining your mood and your theory on what's going to happen that night. And I have a ton of I have everything, you know, but clearly a lot of disco. But it takes a lot of effort to, it's hard to explain, I guess. You kind of just got to go with gut feeling of what's going to work. Sometimes it doesn't work, but that's why you always have a couple things backed up, but there's always a definite vibe that you want to kind of have, and not stay in, but kind of create, you know. And that's why I think it works. You know, I think that's a big part of making it almost so different than like a lot of like European sets, a lot of techno sets and stuff are very. It's one song is blended very smoothly into the next, which is very admirable. I mean, I'm a big house head too, and I love to mix clean too, but a lot of disco records you can't do that.
Yeah.
And kind of the looseness and the subtle mixing and the switching of tempos, and it's kind of fun. It's entertaining. It's a very, I like to think of very, something that this, the New York thing is kind of cool about in transition to Europe, and I think why it works so well when you go to Europe and people are so excited because it's just different. It's just it's more fun. Currently, I'm working on a project called Runaway, and it's me and my friend Marcus Cabral. And we have been working for about a year, and we have a lot of upcoming releases this year on DFA Records, Chinatown, Worst Edits, and I'm a Cliche. Marcus and I have done both. We've done edits. We've done a lot of edits together, and we've done original music as well. And a lot of the edits too, we've added a lot of extra elements to it. So extra synth bonds and extra drums and stuff. And so we try to add a little bit more to just disco edits. I mean, like clearly right now there's a boom of a lot of disco edits, disco 12s, and it's really great. It's kind of funny that old music being re-edited is selling better on vinyl than new stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, keep reading about it, and it's really funny, but
yeah.
it's great, you know. But Marcus and I have a lot of new material too. I think there's still some sampling in just about everything I do, but in the most part, in the end, it's original. It's very, all written and produced by us. So. For the most part, I think I'm doing a lot of different things. I mean, this is still kind of new for a lot of maybe not for older people, for younger people, it might be still new. And even, you won't, a lot of people kind of expect to hear something like Justice when they go out, and here you probably won't hear it, So that's probably kind of weird for some listeners too. But we're doing something else.